This is Cardos Cakes and Chops. You're welcome to my channel. Join me as I share with you a simple bread recipe. I'm going to take you on a tutorial, full step-by-step tutorial on how to achieve a very soft, fluffy and chewy bread. This bread recipe is very easy to make, very simple, absolutely delicious, and will last for days after baking. You can bake a quality bread at home without stress. Let's get started. First, we measure out 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour into a medium-sized bowl. You can use bread flour if you choose to. 1/4 teaspoon of salt and give it a good mix. Mix very well to combine the salt and the flour. Then 5 tablespoons of sugar, 1 tablespoon of yeast, 1 medium-sized egg, 1 teaspoon of vanilla flavor, 1.5 cup of milk, warm milk. After adding all the ingredients, I'll go ahead and use my whisk to gently mix them together. After a while, I'll finish up the mixing with my hands. If you're stopping by for the first time, give me a like, share my videos, and please don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more tutorial videos on cakes, bread, and chops. So, I'm going to give it a thorough mix. The quality of your bread depends on how you mix the dough. If you noticed, I didn't pour all the milk at once. I have a little remaining, so the remnants I will pour it into this dough now and give it a proper mix before I will then transfer it to my workspace and start kneading. Are you a seasoned baker or a beginner? Give this bread recipe a trial. This is a game changer. For this recipe, we are going to do all the kneading by hand. No mixer involved. It's quite easy and very interesting. The next step is sprinkling my workspace with some all-purpose flour, then transfer the dough on my workspace for kneading. I'll be kneading the dough for 15 to 20 minutes. There are 2 ways to knead your dough. You either knead by hand or with a mixer. But for today's recipe, I'm kneading my dough with hands. The way you handle your dough determines the quality of your bread. Today we are going to knead this dough very well because that is what will give us a very soft, airy, and fluffy bread. I'll be adding 2 tablespoons of butter into my dough. After adding the butter, I will mix well, then continue kneading. Kneading your dough makes the gluten in the flour develop well. It will develop well into a very stretchy dough, and thereby when you bake your bread, it will give you a very chewy and fluffy bread. You knead until you get a stretchy dough and a non-sticky dough until it stops sticking to your hands. Watch the way I am kneading this dough. I removed my gloves so that I can handle the dough better. You can see the dough is non-sticky now and very stretchy. When you press it down, it bounces back. We are done kneading now, so I'll be transferring it into the bowl. I'll first of all oil my bowl with vegetable oil before I'll be transferring the dough into the bowl. So after transferring the dough into the bowl, I will equally oil the dough, the top of the dough, with some vegetable oil. Then I'll go ahead and cover it up with a cling film. After covering with a cling film, I will allow the dough to sit for like 30 minutes to rise. While waiting for the dough to rise, I will go ahead and prep the bread pan for baking. I will be greasing the bread pan with some butter. You can also make use of margarine if that is what you have. I'll be using a brush to apply the butter to the bread pan. Enough butter. I will grease it properly. The purpose of greasing your pan is to enable your bread come out freely after baking. In order to avoid the bread sticking to your pan, apply or rub enough butter. Another thing you must do before baking is preheating your oven. Make sure you preheat your oven 10 to 15 minutes before baking. Preheating your oven simply means turning on the oven or turning on the heat of your oven for 10 to 15 minutes before you bake with it. It is very important. After greasing the pan, we'll go check our timer and check on the dough. Time is up now. After 30 minutes, we'll go back to the dough. So we'll remove the cling film. You can see the dough has risen a bit, but that's not all. We're still working on it. So deflate the dough. Use my hand to deflate the dough. Bring it out and keep it on my workspace. I will then give it a good press to remove every air trapped in the dough. Deflating and pressing it removes every excess air trapped in the dough. So I'll be folding and tightening it before I will cut into smaller sizes. When you're sharing your doughs into smaller sizes, you can choose to use a scale to weigh them to make sure they are of the same weight and size. But since I'm making this for my home, I'm making my bread at home, I choose not to scale them. But if you're using it for commercial purpose, it's very essential that you use a scale to scale all your dough to make sure they are of the same size. After sharing or after cutting them into smaller sizes, the next step is to fold them. We are going to fold and roll them. Fold and tighten the dough, then roll them into smaller rolls and set them in the bread pan. Pick one, stretch and fold in, tuck it in, make sure it's tight, press, roll, and fix into the pan. Stretch, tuck it in, tighten at the back, roll, and fix in the bread pan. Make sure there is space in the bread pan because we're going to allow it to sit for 1 hour and rise again. This is a well-detailed tutorial. Follow this step-by-step procedure and master the art of bread making. It is quite easy, very interesting, and fun. This homemade bread recipe is quite nutritious, very healthy, and the best. Give it a try. You will love it. Almost done with this. Make sure there's little space in your bread pan. Little space for the bread to rise again. It's going to rise more. So we are done with this pan. I'll be covering it up, then set it aside. I'll be setting the remaining doughs in another pan. I'll get a handy pan around in my kitchen, then I'll grease it with some butter. I'll use this pan. I'll grease. Remember to apply your butter thoroughly. Then I'll start folding and setting in this pan too. Stretch, fold, tuck in and roll. Fold, tuck, roll. Baking is fun. If you look into the pan, you will see that there's spacing between the doughs, the bread rolls. You can see there's spacing between the doughs. The spacing is to enable the doughs rise well. It's very important. I'm done folding and setting. The next step is to cover the dough up, set it aside for 1 hour and allow it to rise and double in size. After 1 hour, I'll go ahead and check the dough to know how far it has gone. Wow, the dough has risen beautifully well, and you can see that it's now double in size. So we'll get ready to bake. But before I'll be transferring this dough into the oven, I'll go ahead and brush it with some milk. With my brush, I'll brush on it carefully with some milk before I will transfer into the oven. This will make the bread come out soft and beautiful. Brushing some milk on your dough before baking is totally optional. You can choose not to do that. It is still okay. But I prefer to brush some milk on my dough before baking so that I will have a very soft and tasty bread after baking. My oven has been preheated for 10 minutes now. So after brushing the doughs with some milk, I will then transfer the doughs into the oven to bake. I'll be baking this bread at 190 to 200 degrees centigrade for 30 minutes. While baking your bread, don't open the oven door. Don't open the oven until it is time. Wow, 30 minutes and it's time. Our bread is fully baked, golden brown and beautiful. Let's bring out the bread to check the texture, the quality, and the taste. So flip over to remove the bread from the pan. Wow, this is beautiful. So soft. Wow. This is lovely. This bread smells so nice. The aroma is everywhere. It's all over the kitchen. You can see how soft and airy the bread is. The quality is top notch. Very soft, fluffy. And chewy too. This is nice. This is very delicious. I hope you will give it a try. This recipe is the best. This bread can stay for 3 days without going bad, or you can store in your refrigerator for 1 week. Do you like my recipe? Please give me a thumbs up, share my videos, and please subscribe to this channel for more tutorials on cakes, bread, and small chops. My next upload will be on donut tutorials. Don't miss that. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in my next one.